What's going on? Nature Gamer 7 here. I gotta be honest. The reason I like wearing sunglasses anyways, but especially for like stuff with camera and looking at the camera, I'm not very good at looking at the camera. So I often look away from it. But when I do this, it looks like I'm looking at the camera, when really I'm probably not looking at the camera. Anywho, I'm getting that out of the way. I wanted to talk a little bit about the online subscription service that Nintendo is offering. I have listened to several videos, watched a couple videos, and people are very frustrated with Nintendo's approach on things. And I understand that I follow, I've got all my Nintendo stuff in the background. Sure, I'm definitely a fanboy, and I will admit that. So I have a hard time of holding a justifiable argument because I'm very biased. I like Nintendo stuff, and even when Nintendo services are inexcusable, I will most likely pay for it because I'm that jerk or dummy or whatever you want to say. But I think as far as with their online subscription, something that I just found comical, and it was just immediate when I saw it, is they've got their five big points. I don't remember all five of their key points, but their first one is like, hey, it's our online service. You can play online with your friends. And I'm like, well, yes, that's what you're supposed to do. It's an online service. Of course, you can play online with your friends. That's the definition of playing online. So don't have that as a main point. I just think that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand why they decided to market that. That seems really silly. The other one is like their cloud saves. I think the cloud saves are great. I understand it's not for every game, and I understand Nintendo's reasoning to a point, and I understand that some people are really frustrated, especially with like Pokemon. You should be able to have Pokemon, find a way to get around people exploiting the system. Nintendo's just being lazy by not offering cloud backup for Pokemon. Sure, I guess. Last I checked for the, last 20 plus years, all my Pokemon games are still good, pretty much. I mean, and I haven't had really issues with maintaining save data or anything. So sure, I guess you can say for the original Game Boy cartridges, but as far as like the DS games go, I've never had really any issues. So it's like, hey, I don't know why people are freaking out over it. I understand that there's the nice thing of having cloud backups now and all that, but I don't know. I can back up Super Mario Odyssey. Last I checked, I hope you can. So if Super Mario Odyssey is backed up, Mario Kart 8's backed up, that's really the only games that are important to me at this point, anyways. So yeah, I'm okay with the backups. As far as the NES games, yep, you can play NES games online, and I understand that that has been a thing for years if you emulate stuff. I personally have never really been into emulation. I'm kind of against it. And so, as far as for playing NES games online, that's a new thing for me, and I'm excited about that. So, I think that's cool. And as far as for the $20 price tag, that's probably the biggest argument that people will say that will try to defend Nintendo is like, hey, it's only a third of the price of the competitors of Microsoft and Sony. And I would agree with that. Doesn't mean that Nintendo should do a crappy job. And it's hard because I want to try to give Nintendo as much grace in the fact of like these are all unexplored territories. At the same time, these shouldn't be unexplored territories. Like Nintendo is a gaming company, that is their whole system of operations, and they should be able to. They should already be this far in advance. Cloud Save shouldn't be a new venture for them. They should have already been working on it. Dedicated servers should not be a new venture for them. They should have already been working on it. And as far as the virtual console goes, I'm okay with the subscription based service. I personally like owning the games, accessing them when you're offline, all of those things. And the Wii Virtual Console, the Wii U Virtual Console, I think were great services. I was a huge fan of the Wii Virtual Console. I have a stupid amount of titles. So I'm all for owning the games, but I'm also for having a subscription like service where you don't own the games. Maybe the NES thing should have been like an optional thing of like pay 10 extra dollars and then you have the NES service. But I think the NES service has almost been slapped on there of like, oh, look, we're giving you NES games for having this subscription. Okay, if it's really that big of a deal, I don't know. I wish there was a different way they could have handled it. I am personally excited to play NES games, especially with my older brother, because he lives very far away, and so I can play some balloon fight and ice hockey with him. And so I'm stoked for that. So I'm getting the online service regardless, because I still want to play Mario Kart online, Mario Tennis online, definitely Smash Brothers when it comes out. I'll be playing that online. The Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, I've already prepaid for that game, so I'm excited to play that online. So there's plenty of games I want to play online, so I'm going to get it regardless. But as far as Nintendo's service, sure, I'd like it to be better. For $20, I'm probably going to get over it. I understand that I'm that Nintendo person that is giving in, backsliding, whatever, and it's like you're paying for mediocrity. Please don't do that. Well, I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon. I've seen the like to dislike ratio on their YouTube video. I don't see this being like something where like Microsoft, when they announced for Xbox One, I believe that they were going to have like no used games. It was only new stuff that worked. And it was almost kind of like this looking forward towards the digital games, which guess what? That's where we're at. But they had a deal where it's like, hey, if you put in your game disc, they were saying that, you know, it would only be for that game disc. It wouldn't be for anything else. So like once you put it in your console, it was there. You couldn't take it to your buddy's house. And the whole online just erupted over Microsoft's decision. Within, I think, 24 or 48 hours, Microsoft reversed their decision and they could still play used games. I don't see that kind of decision happening towards Nintendo. One thing that I do see happening, which I just saw today, you know, they had stuff that got data mined a couple weeks ago, and how Super Nintendo controller icons could be seen on the Switch. So I could see Super Nintendo games even getting released onto this online subscription. And think about that. Think if those things were free. I'm not trying to justify Nintendo's decisions, because I think they could do things obviously a lot better. But I think that, you know, the addition of having Super Nintendo games, you know, having that kind of service being there for free, I think that's awesome. And as far as like the whole thing of like NES games not being able to access them after a week, like you have to constantly check in, I guess, like, sure, some people are saying that's going to be an issue for them for vacation. I mean, last I checked, sure, I've taken my Switch on vacation. I'm not going to say that I haven't been. But if you're truly like that upset that you lost your NES game because you didn't access your Switch online for a week when you're on vacation, I don't know. It seems like you're stressing out over the wrong things. But whatever. I guess to summarize everything for the Nintendo Switch Online, I'm excited because I definitely want to play some games with my brother and have some good fun that way. But as far as how it all goes, I hope that they add more things in the future. But as far as how it stands right now, I'm still excited to play some NES games. So I'm more of a positive note on this thing than I am negative. Obviously, there's things they can improve. I'm not oblivious to that. But as far as playing some online games, it's going to be fun. And yep, I've already been doing that. But now I've got more new games to try it out with. And Balloon Fight and Ice Hockey are coming out. So it's going to be sick. So I'm excited for that. That's really all I can really say on the online service. I hope that Super Nintendo games, N64 games, one can only hope for GameCube, but yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping maybe for a different thing with the GameCube. GameCube, like HD game collections, heck, straight up HD GameCube games just in general would be awesome. Even if, especially a lot of people like them physically, physical cartridges. I'm more of a fan of just having everything digital at this point because of how the Switch is online, or how they store their data and all that jazz. But anywho, that is my thoughts on the online subscription service for Nintendo, and I'm excited to play some games. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching.